Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Talks. I'm your host, Evan Happel, and I have a great guest for episode 107, Twynate Boyd. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's with Hilltop Residential and a senior community manager with them. I had the privilege of spending some time with her at NAA this year. She was actually our first ambassador. Yeah, you heard that right, ambassador. She is a user of our platform at Community Boss, mainly Parking Boss, and she uses it very well. In fact, she went from one community to another and brought it with her and has found the ability to make money and just organize her parking better. And I tell you what, she came to Apartmentalize and she was at our booth and hung out with us. It was a blast. And honestly, I think the rest of us could have gone home because she just sat there and talked to everybody about how great our product was. And we just sat back and watched because it was amazing. But we're not going to spend all time talking about our product the entire time. She has some great passions, mainly her company. She's really enjoyed working for Hilltop and also just passionate about bringing love and care to the property management industry and coming up with ideas to and initiatives to really serve the communities that she works at and help others also foster ideas to serve those other communities around her area and in her region as well. So we'll get into all that. And then she just also has a great passion for her faith. And so how that affects all that she does and how she's driven as well. So super excited to have Twynate today on the show. But before we get there, like I mentioned, I'm with Community Boss. We have some great solutions for you when it comes to parking, amenities, and mapping. We can help generate some revenue and just overall make it a better experience for your residents and take away some of that chaos and more efficiencies for you when you're managing. We like to say manage like a boss. Check the boss bling in the back here. That's kind of something we're known for. We love giving out our boss chains at all the different conferences and to our customers and even our guests here on Boss Talks. So if you see us, ask us, we'll probably give you one. Giving away a lot. Anyways, so it's time to bring Twynate to the show. So here we go. Twynate.
Hi.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am doing very good. I know that your region has gone through a lot here recently. Thankfully, you were telling me that you guys didn't get rocked so hard in your community specifically, but I know there's a lot going on down there in the Southeast, and my heart and thoughts go out to all the people down there because I know there's a lot of, especially even in multifamily, a lot of people.
Yes, it is. It's just tough in general. We were very blessed to not have any major damages or incidents, but also just the properties and people that are affected are definitely in our prayers. And one thing about this industry and in general is that, we are very resilient and, we team up. So, always looking for ways to help however we can during these times.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I mean, I don't know how many apartments are up in the Asheville area, but that area of North Carolina that got hit, it's just so sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I'm glad that you're okay, and
Thank you.
It sounds like some of your people had a little bit of an effect of where they lived and things, but by and large, everybody's been okay.
Yes, we are. We are.
That's good. All right. Well, Twynate, thanks for joining me today.
Always a pleasure.
Like I said, you joined me and my team in Philadelphia just a few months ago for Apartmentalize. And
Amazing.
I think that might be a good place to start is, first of all, that was your first Apartmentalize.
It was.
And we were so happy to bring you along and pay your way to come and give you that opportunity. What was that like for you?
Oh my gosh. I think it's just one of those things that in my mind, what it was and then what it was in real life was some completely different. I had the time of my life. First of all, the team. So people need to understand, like when you're with Community Boss, when you're with the company, everybody is genuine. I'm big on like authenticity and like just transparency. Everyone was themselves. Everyone was so kind, so welcoming. We really just had a good time. I think for me, anybody who really knows me, including like my company, I don't like to do much. Like I want to man my forts, and that's about it. So when I was invited, I was like not something in Georgia, like you want me to travel across like on a plane. So I'm glad I did it. Um, the energy, the events at Apartmentalize, melanin and multifamily, life changing. Like I'm still fangirling. Marcy, everybody, like it was wild. I don't think I ever really realized. Like we stay in our little bubble, and it's like I'm a property manager, but like it's a big thing, and it's a huge industry, and being a part of that, and being there with you guys, and being at the booth, and just the energy and the love that your team has, and sharing it with people, and me actually being a user of the platform just makes it so much easy because it's not a sale. It's like this is a real life
Yeah.
testimonial, and this is something that I use at my property. That well, actually, when I started at platform, it was already in place, and so came on, learned the system, amazing. And then when I came here, it was legit one of the first things I asked for. I was like, I have to have Community Boss. I cannot do this. And so um, I really had a time with you all. I felt like family. I didn't feel uncomfortable at any time. And you guys really did lay out the red carpet for me there, like you guys do anytime I need y'all. So it was an amazing experience.
Well, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say, and we're really glad that you could join us and that you did have a good time. And
Yeah.
I just loved the fact that you had, like, outside of our company stuff, opportunities to meet some of the people that I've had the privilege of spending time with, with Melanin Multifamily, Monica Frazier, Marcy, Aishia, all those ladies are
Yeah.
great. And I'm so glad you were able to meet them.
Yeah. True bosses. Like when you talk about boss, like you took me and then I get there and it's one of those things where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm here and I'm doing this, and you get in the presence of them and it's like they all feel the same way about, what you guys do and what you stand for and the ease that you guys really just bring to properties, and we're already dealing with, me, I'm a million miles a minute, like, so just having that one thing that I know is set in stone, it's easy to teach to my team. I'm looking forward to getting with Kimmy and talking about amenity boss. Like now we're upgrading amenities here, so we're doing things, we're doing rooftops, we got 2 pools, we got clubhouse lounge, and so we want everything to go as smoothly as parking does.
Yeah. Well, if we can help, we definitely want to. So that's great.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, I mean, you kind of give it a little bit. Is there any specific parking stories you have from over the years that maybe are hilarious or anything you want to share?
So the great thing about, I don't think people understand like how much, like when I'm not here, this is the thing that helps me a lot. When I'm not on site, like I'll have a courtesy officer call me and say, hey, you have a resident that left their door open, or left the trunk open, and they're patrolling the decks, they see what's going on. Like, okay, by a tag number or a car, like I have almost 600 units here. I would have no idea who it is. And so I'm like, send me a picture of the plate. And they do. And I put it in the system. I know who it is. I have their number. I have their apartment number. I can either send security over there, or I can call them myself. Say, hey, it's Twynate calling. You left your door. And they, oh my gosh, like just little things like that that you don't like. It's after hours. I don't want anybody's door to be left over or trunk to be left open. Just any situation that has to do with. I've had somebody like, hey, my guest is trying to park, and they're like, we have a system called Active Building where the residents can communicate with us. I'm
Sure.
like, hey, I don't know my code, and it's Sunday. It's Sunday, and it's like, and it's like I could just boop boop and send it to them, and that is so minor and it's so small, and I have so many stories. But in those moments, I look like a superhero, like legit. I've had people come in and like break, like Twynate, thank you so much, my friend. I didn't know the code, and I didn't want to get booted. And it's like just having that where it takes me legit less than 10 seconds to become the solution to somebody's problem. And I think that is just a level of, customer service that go above and beyond. Like, yes, I can do this. And I have phone numbers and I have your apartment number, and it's all a secure system. I have it. Everybody doesn't have it. And I'm able to verify, like, okay, you're the resident, what's the last four of your phone number, or what's the make and model of your car, and all that information is in the system. And I think for people that are coming on, but I didn't realize that I realized when I came here, because like I said, parking, it was already there at platform. The self-registration feature needs a hashtag. Like, so I literally was like, how am I going to get, me and my team would have to like all day input information. Having the ability for the resident to actually go in, upload their license, their registration, all in the system, using their code, and I'm able to go in the system and see all of that is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all that. I I didn't I don't want to spend any more time on it, but I do appreciate the kind words regarding our system for sure. Thank you.
It's awesome.
Next question I have before we get into your topics, super important.
Mm.
When you're getting ready or you're headed somewhere, what music, what song do you listen to get you going?
Okay, so this is depending on where I'm going.
Okay.
So, like, if I'm going to the gym, right, it's definitely going to be all Atlanta, Lil Jon, crunk music, hype music. It's going to be like T.I., Jeezy. Like, but I got to get in the mindset because I'm about to go hype.
Yep. Yep.
So, like, lately, I told you I've been trying to get in my soft girl era. So, I've been listening to more softer music like Yeba. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Don't know
her.
Yeba.
Oh my gosh, you have to know Yeba. NAO, just more soft type vibes, which is just, I've learned that when you go to the gym and you listen to certain music, it takes you there. So I can't listen to that coming to work. I want to come to work in a state of zen as much as possible. So that when the day, now they're gonna come at me like Little John, but see, then I'm gonna be on like, yeah, but I'm cool. I got this. So yeah, it's a lot of different. I listen to all different types of music. So I'm definitely not a one type. It's not an easy question for me. I listen to classical. I listen to Aerosmith. I listen to R&B, hip hop, country. Like I listen to everything. So it can be anything.
Depends on the situation. That makes
Correct.
sense. Yeah.
Correct.
So, thanks for answering.
Mhm.
When it comes to next question, caffeinated beverage of choice, what is your go-to?
I would typically say coffee.
Okay.
I've been off coffee for 4 months now. I'm
Okay.
on matcha right now. I'm addicted to matcha. I
Is
buy my
there
matcha lattes, my
is there a
matcha lattes
specific
at
way you
Starbucks.
like it?
I do. So
Okay.
Starbucks makes really good matcha lattes, and then Starbucks was also taking a lot of my money. So I'm like, I'm gonna figure out how to do this myself because I can't go here every day. Like I can't.
Sure.
So I found matcha. It has to be matcha, half almond milk, half oat milk, 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons, of matcha, and some vanilla Torani syrup. I bought the little Keurig little frother thingy. And every morning now I make my own matcha. And I feel like mine is better than Starbucks. I'm not gonna put that out there, but I'm just gonna tell y'all I make a mean matcha latte.
Nice. Yeah. If you can get away with making it yourself and not spending, $6-7 on a drink
A
every
day.
single day.
A day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for sharing. And that has caffeine in it.
It's yes it does, but it's not like coffee flow.
Okay. Yeah. Because some tea is almost more than coffee.
You got to be careful, and I don't need anything to help me go any higher. So matcha was a very happy medium for me.
Well, and speak to that. You were jokingly saying that you're in your soft era, I believe you said.
Soft girl era.
Soft girl era. So what's that about?
So you know me. So I'm always on 10. I live on 10. I passed cloud 9 a long time ago. So I stay on 10, and normally I'm just like go, go, go. So what I've realized is that I have to start having balance. And I feel like I've started just I got plants. Like I was like telling you about your plant because I'm into plants now. And I was like, Evan, I love your plant. Like you need to let me have it. So plants, candles, soft music. I want to be here and like be the general, which is our position, and lead, but I'm learning how not to need to lead in every aspect of my life because it's ebb and flow and it's, yin and yang. And so it's been great. It's been great for me to learn that about myself. Like, oh, you are really like on 10 and it's 9 o'clock at night and like you need to calm down. So yeah, I mean, I'm in my 40s now. I gotta relax.
I feel you. I just turned 40 myself, so
Did you?
Yes.
I didn't know you were Evan. You look amazing. Stop.
Well, thank you.
Stop.
Yeah, wow. I'm well into my 40s. A few months.
Yeah, welcome. And I'm 41, yes. And I'm definitely, most women like, I'm not telling my age. I love it. I don't know where that comes from, but I'm much better at 41 than I was at 21. I'm going to tell somebody how old I am every time. I love it. This is a great place.
I mean, I feel like you, well, hopefully, probably not everybody, but you know who you are more, right? And
absolutely.
You're paying attention to life. You've lived life. You've made decisions that you're either happy about or not happy about,
or not.
And you're now you can also do something about it, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think what the best part is, you stop caring so much about everybody else's like opinion. You're just kind of like, no, I'm going to do me.
That was big for me. That last statement was big for me because I feel like early on, I used to always kind of be like a people pleaser. Like I just want everybody to be happy. And then you realize, well, like everybody else is happy and I'm not happy. So like something ain't right here. So that's definitely true. You do get into a space where it's like, I'm not going to stress about it. It doesn't matter. And if it matters to me, I can change it. And if it doesn't, like you get comfortable with people thinking what they want and just saying, hey, I'm not going to live my life trying to stress about things that I don't really care about.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So you've been in property management for a little while now. What's kind of your story as to how you got into it and how you've developed a passion for what you do?
So actually, I had a friend on Facebook. This was like 2008 or 9 that put a post like, hey, I'm looking for a leasing consultant. That's literally all it said. I was like, and at the time my job had sold and I was legit working at a daycare. Like I was a daycare worker. And I was like, listen, I'll try anything right now. So I messaged her and I was like, I'm interested. She sent me the link to apply. And it just looked, it took off. Like I had never really worked at a job, what I would consider like an office job. So like I'm very social and I like to talk to people. So that's one of my favorite things about what we do. Like we meet new people every day from every walk of life in different parts of their lives. You have students that are graduating, you have people getting married, you have people getting divorced. You have people who like legit or this is their first time, getting a place, or people that are starting over. And so being a part of that for me is always just more than, and that's what I think is just you have to care about what you do. And I care about why are you here and how can I help you? And most of the time it turns into like a therapy session. But I think that people knowing that you care about them and not just it's a lease or my occupancy is going up. That care will take you further than a sale all the time. And I feel like I know you said you don't want to talk about y'all no more, but I feel like it also goes hand in hand with like the relationship that I have with Community Boss. The ease that it was and the attention and the just dedication to making sure I was good when I got here, and it was a takeover. And anybody that works in property management knows that takeovers are rough. And me knowing from the relationship that this was going to they were going to make this as easy for me as possible. And that's exactly what it was. And so I feel like when you in this industry, the one thing that always will keep me and always makes me want to stay is because you see everything going like AI, computer generated. Nothing's ever going to replace someone standing and greeting you and shaking your hand or smiling in your face or offering you some candy or refreshments because it's so far removed from our day to day now. So when we're offering that in the heart of Atlanta, where everybody's like, "Did you set an appointment? Did you set an appointment?" And they'll come in and say, "Oh, I wanted a tour, but I didn't set an appointment." Like, come on in. You don't need an appointment. Come see me. Like, I really do love what I do. And I feel like it aligned with my personality. I was able to grow from a leasing consultant and then be promoted to assistant. I've played every role. I've had move-ins and then have maintenance and went out and stayed to work to 10 o'clock, cleaning an apartment and scrubbing toilets and doing turnkey. I know how to fix a dishwasher. I know how, the basic things that I've learned to do just in this industry have changed my life and been able to help me help other people. So I really don't know, honestly, like what else I would be doing if I wasn't doing this. Maybe a talk show host, Evan. What do you think?
I mean, why not? Yeah, no. I mean, everybody else is jumping in. Yeah. Anybody can. If I can, you can.
No, you're amazing. You're amazing.
No, I started this with. If you knew me a few years ago before I did this, you would have been like, "This guy's never going to host a show."
Really? No, you're so personable. Like when we're in Philadelphia, everybody and their mama knows you. Like it was crazy. And I'm like, Evan is like everybody knows him.
Well, I love meeting people. I love learning about people. I love to talk to people. But I will tell you, every year, a few more people. I'm not like crazy known. There's more known people than I am, but it is interesting to go to, especially apartmentalize and like have that experience. And for me, what's interesting about it is I am introverted. Like I'm kind of middle of the road. So
Yeah.
all that attention is like pretty exhausting.
Really? Well, you hide it very well because it's just a natural. It's natural.
Well, what I did was this year, and I'm moving forward, going to do better at this. Is as soon as we were done on the showroom floor of the trade show, I went back to my room. I vegged out for a good hour or more, and then I was like, "All right, I got a little rest. Now back out there."
I never would have known had you not told me.
Yeah, I had to recharge. I had to like, okay, all right, let's get more energy. All right, let's get out there. Hey, you gotta, and that's just knowing yourself, right? The first 2 years
Right.
ago when I went to apartmentalize, by the end of it, when I got home, I literally slept for a whole day because
It's a ball.
I didn't get those little moments of rest. So I learned my lesson, but yeah. So back to you though, back to what you're doing in property management. You've landed at a company that you really appreciate and have. I mean, you got into Hilltop what, less than a year ago, beginning of this year, or has it been about a
So
year?
I've been here since February. I
Okay.
was at Hilltop September 20th, 2020, 2020, 2021, 2021, 2020.
Oh, you've
Yeah.
been okay. It's been a while. Okay, way longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hilltop is amazing. Um, I've never worked for a company like this. And you know me, so I'm Twynate. Anybody that's watching this, I'm me all the time. I'm loud. It's not intentional. It's in my DNA. But I like to have a good time. I like to manage my team with love. I'm here in the morning, like, good morning. How y'all doing? What we got going on today? How was your weekend? Like, I'm that person that I just live out loud. I don't want to take, when I'm gone, I want to be empty. I don't want to take nothing with me. So I always want to just pass that joy to my team, to my residents, to my vendors. Like, I love what I do, and Hilltop allows you to be yourself, um, and of course, just accepting of who people are, and just polishing you and training you to be the best you can be, but not cookie cutter, or just like one size fits all. And I feel like I have, in order for me to thrive, I have to be in the element that way. And I feel like it's like that for a lot of different people. And a lot of companies recognize that. Like, of course, you have your policies, procedures, and dress codes and things that are mandatory. But other than that, like, really just giving people the opportunity. A lot of the most successful companies, you look at somebody like Steve Jobs, and it's just a regular, when you see him, he's a regular guy, just walking in regular shoes, and not in a suit, and it's like, just be yourself, and people thrive in those elements. And that's one great thing about this company. We all just love on each other. We support each other. When I got here, whatever I needed, like, they're going to, who you need? I need people, I need help. And we just go hard for each other. And I feel like once you're passionate about something, and you have each other's back, like, where we can go then is endless. And it's like, just with us, like, wherever I go from here on, you guys will be coming, because I
All right.
know that the relationship works. And I don't know. I literally just celebrated my anniversary with Hilltop on the 20th, and I wrote a LinkedIn post about it last month. And it kind of just, you're working and you're doing it every day, but I kind of like sit in my garage that night and thought about, like, where I had come from, and what the journey's been like. And it's a beautiful story. I never had heard of Hilltop. I got a call from Lauren 6 days after I quit my last job, and she's like, "You want to interview?" And I'm like, she called me. I put my resume out there, and I interviewed at Platform, and I walked in, and it was just beautiful. It was like the most beautiful property, and I was like, "Oh, we moving on up now, sis. Like, we are going places now." And it was literally probably one of the most challenging properties that I had so far. And then to see it turn to what it is now is just amazing at what we've done there. And it just comes with, grit and determination, and loving what you do, and being boots on the ground with your team. And I love it. I love what the company stands for, and I love that not only do they have these things written as far as like mission statements, but they live it, and we see it every day as employees, that they really do care about us and what we're dealing with and how we feel, and how we can make this a good experience for you as well as for the community. So I have nothing but great things to say about Hilltop Residential.
Well, That's great. And I think that really kind of goes straight into one of the things you're passionate about, and that's really bringing a sense of love and care and ideas and ways to care for your community. When you have an employer that cares about you and cares about the
Mhm.
communities that they, I mean, sometimes, not everybody, but like some of these communities, it's very tight. It's very transactional. You
Mhm.
have small budgets. You're not allowed to do much. But I know that you guys have done quite a bit. I know you've had a lot of resident facing events, a lot of things
Yeah.
that build community. So, what are some things that you've put in place and things that you're passionate about in instilling a sense of community and other things in your communities that really bring that sense of care and love?
So I think one of the great things that not just like not me in general, but just Hilltop does is that every property gets a apartment life team. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like a cares team or apartment life team, but
I used to work for them.
um, oh, stop! I can see that. I can see that. I am obsessed. So this is gonna be quick, kind of like story. When I moved into my first apartment, they had a cares team and they came and met me and like we built this whole relationship and we would go every Wednesday, we'd meet in the clubhouse and they would do like we sit around and talk. And I was young. I got my first apartment when I was like I think 20, like 19 to 20. And I loved it. I didn't know anybody. I was on my own. And so it was just a great way to meet people. They were people of faith. And so that was awesome too. And it was a predominantly African American area, and our care teams was Caucasian. So that was great too, because it was like, okay, like I didn't, we don't get to see a lot of each other, but they were amazing. And so now with Hilltop, we have our care team, and Paola and Tiffany are amazing. I had Greg and Abby at Platform, and I thought they were going to be like nobody can beat them. And now Paola and Tiffany are equally amazing. And so what they do is we do 2 resident events each month. And we kind of get together and brainstorm on like what we want to do or what we do different target audiences. So we'll have like one for dogs, like something that includes dogs, and then we'll have like paint and sit where you do like the paint, and somebody comes out and do that. And we do movies on the roof. We did take and bake pizza where everybody got to come and make their own pizza, put them in a box, and it just really like on properties this big too. We're like, hey, Evan, I live in 8 building and you live in 3 building, and we'll never see each other if we will legit never see each other. So having those events in different areas in the community. Our clubhouse, we just completely redone it. It's beautiful. And then on the rooftops, we have it. And all of these different events are on our Instagram as well. But it's just a great way for us to get with the residents and talk to them and build relationships and see what's important to them. And also just from a property management standpoint, because if you've ever worked on a bigger property and you have to plan an event, it's a lot of work to plan an event for your whole community. So the apartment life team makes that so easy. And we actually just finished planning our last 2 events for our events for the year. We're planning a really big Friendsgiving, which is always great. And then we're going to do a big holiday thing too. But yeah, wanting just going back to like the day and age that we're in, everybody's like, that's what they
Yeah.
do. And so creating events where we did a candle making event. It was actually that Thursday of last Thursday when we had the storm. And I was like, are you guys going to cancel? They're like, nope, we're going to still have it. The people said they're still coming. And it's just all the reviews and the residents going online and commenting or coming and telling me how much, they felt welcome, or people that don't have family here that are here for school, because we're in very close proximity to GSU. So they don't have family here, they don't have anybody here. So being able to get with your neighbors and get to know people, and then just, being there for people. Our care team will go get groceries, or they see somebody needs help, they're going to help, or people have a loss in family and we know about it. We send them over there with, they take up benevolence, and go do things like that. So it definitely just goes above you rent here, and this is a genuine community, and it takes a while to build that. And we're still in the early phases of it, but we're making strides, and I'm excited to say that.
Yeah. No, it does take time. Yeah, so I legit worked for them. In fact, uh, me and my wife were a team at a community here in Washington State.
Oh
That's
my
how
God.
I got into the industry. Was as a team at a community for nearly three
Wow.
years, and then we moved into kind of a leadership role locally, and then eventually I actually became the executive director, president, CEO, whatever you want to call it, of the local expression. It wasn't called Apartment Life; it was called Community Northwest. And
Okay.
then I led that organization for a few years, and then we actually merged with Apartment Life, and I served with Apartment Life there forward for a couple of years until I left and I got this job. So that is literally the last thing I did.
Look at that. Look at that. Evan, you have a lot of secrets. You're introverted, but you literally pick industries where you have to deal with people. So I'm glad
Oh
that
my
you're
gosh.
facing your fears.
Yeah. Yeah. No, talk about so, and I think I learned a lot. I think by forcing myself into positions that require me to be very personable and people facing
Mhm.
has helped me push through some of that like awkward feelings of, what do I say? I've learned how to talk to
Right.
people and to ask questions and to be, in positions and situations where as an introvert, they could be very awkward. So you can
Yeah.
learn to push through these things. It's just something you have to actually push through.
Yeah. For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
So I guess I'm a poster child to
You
that.
are. You really are.
So if you want to be, kind of an outgoing introvert, it's possible, but you
It's
also have to take
possible.
care of yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely an oxymoron, but you're rocking that thing, Evan.
well, thanks. Yeah. So, but that's great. Is there anything else you're doing besides resident events? Any ideas that you have implemented and done to really care for your community and bring that into property management? And what kinds of effects do you think that brings to the role?
I think that one of the great things that any manager or anybody can implement that's not necessarily a physical, because I was going to say I've done this before when I worked in the industry earlier, years ago. We would have like a suggestion box, like in the
Mm,
office, right? And then things that the residents would be important to them and they care about, they can put in there. They just come in the office, drop it in there. Um, and I think that some of the things that you would get, you were like, seriously. But I do think that taking the time to really hear what's important to your resident. I think a lot of times when you have larger companies, it's like what they've done at one property, they think that it's going to be like, Ray Kroc when he did McDonald's. And it's like, well, this worked here and he could just take it and you can put it anywhere. And it's like, it's not like that in property management, because so many properties are in different locations with different demographics and there's different things that you have to cater to. So you can do well, in Peachtree City somewhere, and then you come to Atlanta and you try to implement a lot of those same strategies and it doesn't work. And so
yeah.
you are it becomes an inconvenience. You're like, oh, this works. I know it's tried and true, and it's like, no, it's really not. And then you run into these issues, or residents are not happy with it. So I think the main thing is like me. I always tell my property, like my team and my residents, like I have an open door policy. And it's probably one of the hardest things to say as a manager because we're really busy a lot. But I always like I have a resident. I'm like, I'll follow up with you. I'll schedule an appointment. We can schedule a time to talk. I think letting people know that what you feel, or your opinions do matter, even if it's not something I can genuinely do, if it's not within my power. I've had so many people to just say thank you just for hearing me out, and it's like when I've been trying to come up here and talk and nobody would ever listen to me, like thank you for hearing me out. It may not change anything, but people just genuinely want to know that you care, that I'm not paying you thousands of dollars a month to just be a point in your occupancy. And I think that when you manage from that standpoint of like, I do care, and I do want this to be the best it could be. And some of the things I can take to my regional and take to like, hey, how do you feel about this? And once again, one of the great things about Hilltop is my regional. We have a very good relationship, and like, okay, well, we'll see what we can do about that. We'll see if there's ways that we can implement that. We have our manager meetings, and we all get together and kind of brainstorm and have like a meeting of the see what's working. So I just feel like hear your residents, hear what's important to them. If you're getting these reoccurring things that need attention, as the manager, like it's not our money or we can't make everything happen. But if you have good leadership that really wants their community to thrive, they're going to hear you. They're going to hear you, and they're going to take into consideration. And it may not be something that happens immediately. It may be next budget season. You have to budget for this, or we'll see about that. But I think that's one of the most valuable things that you can bring to your property is an ear to hear, and a heart to care, and to say like, listen, I'm just not just sitting here like, Evan, you're talking to me, and I'm like I really care about what you're saying. So yeah, just care for your people, care for your team, and find these different. There's not a one size fits all approach. I've had to learn that when Platform was my first property in Atlanta, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. But it's all good. It's all good, and it's all life experience, and it makes you ready for the next thing. And now we're here, and some things we're bringing with us, like the community boss, and some things I didn't bring here because literally we're a mile away, but it's just not the same as what the need was there.
Yeah. And what was the biggest thing because what types of communities were you in before you hit Platform?
More like garden style, traditional communities. My property before Platform probably was the most difficult property that I've been in. It was 34 years old. So it needed a lot of TLC. And I was blessed to have an amazing team, like my maintenance team, my leasing team. Even at that property that we were at, where we were location-wise, what the crime was in those areas, we maintained 93 to 95% occupancy. We had great renewal retention. We did resident events. We had pool parties, and I didn't have a cares team. We were there. I was there during COVID. We found a way to do where we would get online and do like raffles and crossword puzzles and just all together. And the residents would win gift cards. We were going to drop it on their door and just hang it on the door. And just like at a time where everybody was just locked in, the office was closed and the residents can't come up, we still found a way to make it feel like it was a community and it was a family. And I was very proud of that. That was actually my first property. I was there for 4 years. And so I learned a lot there. And it was hard. But looking back now, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm still close to a lot of my employees that I work with. And that's because I love them. And I'll tell my team, I'm like, y'all know I love y'all. Like, because I feel like these are the people that work hard for me every day in and day out, no matter what they're dealing with. They need to know that you care. And that comes with time, like working together. And I'm working for them too. Like, what do you need to make your job easier? What can I do to be there to support you? Or, they leave and they're like, oh, Twynate, I just got a call and I'm almost home. Like, I'll run a portable over there to the apartment for you and put it in. Like, I'm not above doing anything that I ask my team to do. And they feel that. And they all work very hard for me. And it's just really an amazing thing what you can do when you care.
Oh, yeah. And I think, wouldn't you say that when you preemptively care and are genuine, because I've seen you in action when you were on the trade show floor for us, no part of me thought you were pretending. I felt that you were just being yourself. You were genuinely excited about my software, which, I mean, most people aren't super excited about software. So that's always good to be genuine about. But that I think comes through probably in your day-to-day life, in your job that you do every day, sharing joy with people. Then when you're faced with things that are challenging, yeah, they may be, emotional. Things happen. Not everybody's going to be roses and happy all the time. When you're a
Absolutely.
resident, something happens. But if they've interacted with you and know that you care, at the end of the day, I'm sure your experience has been it's helped to care more. And then when those challenges happen, they're easier to smooth out.
For sure. And I mean, the trade show was probably, honestly, Evan, I know it sounds crazy, but it was literally unlike anything I had ever experienced. And I really just felt in my element because it wasn't like anything. It wasn't like, okay, Twynate, we're gonna get out there. It's like, listen, like I use this product. So it's just one of those things where it wasn't even like a sale. I'm literally telling them, I'm showing them on my phone, like I use this. And so I think from the point of view of like wanting to share that ease with people, because you can have a good thing, but I can't make you know it's a good thing. I could just tell you that what you're dealing with, you don't have to deal with. And I have a solution to that because it's worked for me. And so I think being out there with all those different people, like I made so many connections in Philadelphia. It was crazy. And it was just amazing for me just to know, like, Twynate, you're not in this little box. You're in a whole industry of people that are out here really feeling the way that you feel. Like Apartmentalize is full of people who are passionate about multifamily. And that's what I feel like changed me the most. It's like I'm a little hermit crab and I'll just stay to myself. And it's like now I'm on the team like Melanin Multifamily, who's in Atlanta? Like I want to link up, I want to get out, I want to do stuff because these are the people who understand my day to day. I have friends, but if you're not a property manager, you don't know what we're dealing with over here. So having that circle of people that you can really just get together and we can bounce ideas off of each other and share systems that we use that work, that we can like just really take our properties to the next level. Because anybody that's managing a property wants their property to thrive. If you're genuinely doing it, if you're just there to collect the check, you get your check, you don't care. But I want my property to shine. There's hundreds of communities around me. That ain't my business. I want my property to be somewhere where people feel like they're being catered to. The red carpet is being rolled out for them. And I feel like eventually over time, your numbers, your occupancy, your delinquency will reflect that because like attracts like. And so my entire leasing team is amazing. We have a ball. They bring them flowers. They bring them food. I tell them don't bring no food in here, but I'm trying to do the right thing. And they got donuts from Sublime Donuts in Atlanta with bacon sprinkled on the top. It's bad. It's bad.
Those are good. I don't know about Sublime, but I have a local donut shop right next to me that when it first went in, we were going in there every week. That's not good. You shouldn't eat donuts every week, especially donuts that are like this big.
Huge, right? Like huge. I had like 3 or 4 of them, and I know myself well enough to know, like every time somebody brings those boxes in here, I'm just like, don't even do it because I'm going to eat multiple donuts and I'm going to regret it tomorrow.
This is true. Yeah, donuts are kind of a problem for me. I'm not like a big sweets person, but I love a donut.
I'm not a big sweets person either, but I love a donut and I love red velvet cake. And that's just it's it. If somebody has a red velvet donut, it's really bad. Like it's really bad. Yeah.
They're listening. They're gonna make one now.
They have one. They have one.
Oh no. You hear that? If you're a vendor or supplier out in Atlanta,
don't. Please. I'm trying to do the right thing over here. But it does. It's great. I feel like our industry is amazing and we're thriving and people like y'all to make our life easier. And these systems, I just remember like when I first got into leasing, like everything was like hand, like files used to be this thick. You
Yeah.
literally had a whole application, all the documentation you need from the person, the whole lease, and then we would store this stuff in boxes, and then every 5 years the company would come and like shred them or you send them up to like the collection agency. But we've come so far, and
Oh my
like
gosh.
I've worked at a property before that uses a spreadsheet to do parking. Are you kidding me? Do you know what my Excel spreadsheet would look like for my property with reserve parking, parking, resident parking, these amenities? It would be a mess. We need what we need to have things that are going to just, I know how this works. Here you go. Boop. And I try to do that for everything, our leasing process. Not just parking, it's just everything. And you create the systems and it works. And that's what we do around here, Evan. We get it done.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. I need a new chain.
Really? Okay. Well, it's coming for you.
I need a new chain.
And
I had it
unfortunately,
when I got my
so
little delivery
you were
box, and one of
saying,
my tools took it.
okay, well, you'll get a new one. You'll also get a mug and some coffee. I know you just said that you're not drinking any coffee right now. So if you don't want it, you can gift it to
The
somebody
team will take
else.
it. The team
Okay.
will take it.
But it's
I
our
promise.
boss blend. It's our blend of coffee. So, they'll enjoy it. You'll have a nice mug to drink your matcha out of.
Yes, my matcha mug.
Yes, that's right.
If
But
anybody should know that those little drinks we had at our apartmentalized that had boss on the top, did you get one?
I did. I ended up getting one. I'm pretty
It was
sure.
so good.
Yeah. I was very late. I was too busy talking to people at the boss brunch that I kind of I didn't get a coffee till they were done. Like very
Oh my
end.
God.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of like being at a wedding or something or your own party and you don't eat the food you paid for.
See? Yeah, because y'all were busy, but y'all had it laid out. The boss brunch was like my favorite thing. I felt like it was a more intimate setting.
Yep.
And I met a lot of people with programs and AI and like just so many people that were just like I'm like y'all are like little like thesauruses. Like everybody, everywhere I sit, I got a nugget from somebody. Everywhere I
Yep.
sit, and it was just like that was an amazing, really intimate. The gift, the swag bag. Even though my daughter stole mine, I love that bag. It is like the cutest.
Yes. Yeah. The boss in the form of the block like love
So
at Philly.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes. It was amazing.
Well, at least you have
Definitely.
a shirt with that on it, right?
I do have a shirt.
Yeah.
I do. I
I mean,
do.
that's that nobody else has that shirt but you in Atlanta.
I can't worry about other people all the time. I will tell y'all that it is very cute. It's blinged out. And if I get my bag and like it's a lifestyle, Evan. You know this. Like I'm an ambassador. I have to
That's
be the
right.
only person that has it.
That's right. Well, Twinette, to wrap things up, kind of tie it with a bow, what drives you in caring for and loving your community and really motivating you and hopefully even bringing you recharging you, because giving of yourself and all those things is tiring and it does suck. It takes from you.
It does.
But I know that your faith is a big element that is something that fuels you.
Absolutely. I just cannot be like just put into words. I feel like and faith and talking about your spirituality in these days is just kind of one of those things that is taboo for some people. With me, it's just who I am. I was raised that way, and I feel like not only even saying raised, but life experience um, kind of leads you back to whatever your source of it is. But for me, it's always been God, and it is a recharge where I know that I'm not handling these things alone. I know that when I do need strength, I have so many people that depend on me, my community, my leasing team, my maintenance team, my vendors, my regional, and it's just it can be overwhelming when you're trying to carry it on your own. And I've been in that place before. And what I've learned is, and I'm gonna even say, even within the last 3 weeks, it's just when I come and before my day starts, I always go and I start with gratitude first and foremost, because no matter how things are going, with everything going on around us in the world in general, political, economy, you have to just have your faith in something bigger than all of that. So I'm always showing gratitude. I'm thankful for everything that I have. I'm thankful for looking at my life now and realizing that 15 years ago, I'm living that prayer. I'm living the prayer of the 30-year old Twynate, 25-year-old Twynate that didn't know what I was doing or where I was going and thought I was madly in love with somebody. And now looking back, it's like this journey has been for me to become a better person. I pray and I write and I read my devotions. I write in my journal, and it does help me to decompress at the end of the day and realize that there's something bigger than me that is watching over me and making sure that when things come my way, I'm always aware of that, and it helps you be aware of energy. So when people come to me and they're upset or they're cussing me out or they're threatening me, it's never about me. This person doesn't know me at all, like that. So I know that it's something they're dealing with. And that
Yeah.
helps me not to take it personal. And then I can meet you there, because I can't meet you in your anger, but I can definitely empathize with you because I've been there before. I've been angry and I've been hurt and I've not had the money to pay my rent. And I've been in those situations. So just being able to really let people know, like, it's okay, like this is what it is from a legal standpoint, but from a personal standpoint, what do you feel like you can do, or try to work with people where they are. So yeah, I definitely feel like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that my faith in God gets me through it every day. And my love, the love that I have for people that even mistreat me or talk crazy to me. And the property management isn't always a pretty industry, but I've learned to take those situations and to just turn them around and pour into those people. And whether it's next day or next week or next month, it'll always come around, to where you're able to talk. And they're like, "I'm sorry, I was having a bad day. I didn't mean to cut you." I'm like, "It's you were so nice." I'm like, "It's okay. It's never personal." So that comes from knowing that it's not always about me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad that you have a way to recenter yourself and have a source of energy and something to fuel you to care for others, because giving of yourself is a lot. It
It
can
is.
be something that, if you don't have a way to recharge and decompress and
Mm.
um, be able to work through things, it can be a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
Because
we're doing.
well, I mean, in jobs like yours, it's always a joke that being a community manager is also being a therapist and being
A punching bag, a therapist, a best friend, a pet sitter, a babysitter. Like, can she
yeah,
sit here for a minute? It's like it's so many roles that is wrapped up into this, but it's also one of the things that makes it really fulfilling, because it's never a dull moment. It's never a boring day. I can't remember the last time I've been bored at work. Like, it's always something to do. So
yeah.
I'm thankful that God led me to something He knew I would be good at, and that I could deal with people and meet wonderful people like you, and go to Pennsylvania and have pancakes at the Amish pancake place.
Yeah, you were saying you need to head back to Philly just for those.
So I don't eat meat, so I wasn't able to get uh, cheesesteak. So I mean, I don't
Mm.
have that memory, but I definitely will always remember that pancake.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, it must have been good.
It was. It was huge too. It was huge. It was two of them. It was ridiculous.
And was that was it Reading Market
It
or
was in the
Terminal?
market. It was in the market, and it was like an Amish breakfast place, and it was packed. I waited probably 40 minutes to place my order and then waited. but it was definitely worth the wait. And it was just a really nice, like we had a whole nice weekend and a whole nice week. And you guys showed me around and really just laid out the red carpet for me. And we did the tour and I learned a lot about the city that his high school history teacher probably would have been upset that I didn't know. But it was definitely a great way to end the trip. Just sitting there with something sweet and a lot of memories. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be the ambassador. And I'm appreciative of you guys and look forward to continuing to grow our relationship together and make my communities the best place to live in Atlanta, because I don't play like that.
No, I have nothing else to say. It's beautiful. Spoken like a boss, ambassador here on Boss Talks. Twynate, it's been a joy to get to know you even more. And I'm so excited to continue to be able to do that and get to know you better. So thanks for being here today for your
Thank
episode.
you for having me, Evan. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. And just like Twynate jumped in and had an episode here on Boss Talks, you too can be a guest on Boss Talks. So if you are the boss, if you are passionate about what you do in the industry of multifamily or residential housing, I want you on the show. I want you to share with others what makes you tick, what makes you the boss. So if you have a story to tell, bring it my way. I'd love to host you and elevate you to the next level of bossness. So reach out to me. But until next time, we won't be on the air next week, although we might do a little fun thing because we are headed to California for Boss Fest 2024. The whole crew of Community Boss is headed down to Anaheim, California. And yes, we are going to spend, some of us, some time at Disneyland and have a little fun while we're there. But otherwise, it's going to be business, but in a fun way. And we might do a little fun thing on camera, recorded. But if you've seen Hot Ones, we're going to do our own version of eating hot chicken wings and asking questions. And I may very well be the host of that and asking the questions while eating those same chicken wings and sweating profusely. So make sure you check that out and tune in when I post it. But otherwise, we'll be back to regular schedule the following week. So thanks again for tuning in and supporting Twynate, and we'll see you around. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye, Evan.